developers or anything else, you know. So
testers,
maybe,
like I hear Mozilla, you know, needs some people to test Firefox and give accurate reports back to the, you know, builder.
So it doesn't necessarily have to be a big project that needs to continue. Maybe it's just still getting off the ground.
Right.
Or you have a project idea and you need a developer and a guy that does music and a guy that does this. You can go out to all three of those different kinds of courses and pull them together and organize the project right through the courses on the site itself.
It's a way to find people who have certain skills.
Yeah.
Or in the opposite direction, if you're like
if you have skills, you're
various courses, it's like, hey, you know what? There's this project that needs people to work. And you're like, wow, I never even heard of this project.
I think that there's one important thing we should mention too is that when you use this, like it's a way for you to continue your learning in a practical way. Like besides just taking a course, like you continue learning by going to an open source project and working on it, or you continue learning by going to Habitat for Humanity and actually doing the stuff you learned about. And then what would be really cool, and maybe we won't do this right off the bat, but is to keep track of that stuff. So it's in your portfolio and you can show it to people. And it's like validated, so it's not just like...
Yeah, it's like building your company.
And in the opposite direction, if you're an organization who needs people to work on this stuff, you're increasing you're increasing your ability to crowdsource because more people will know it, and you also are finding people who are more reliable because you have this entire database to look through and see their work and
see their accomplishments in that field. Yeah.
They're just trying to keep everybody going.
Yeah.
Don't just finish the course and not know where to go. Or
And I think I would mention, on the other hand, the rating system when an organization is happy with an individual's outputs, they would rate their experience, and that would trigger that rating to go to the set of courses that he took, so that it would have ripple effects later on when a new project comes
I think it's fair to say it's easier for a person to learn and commit to something if they have a particular idea at the end. So let's say you just want to learn programming. Learning programming in itself, while it's good, it's hard to stay completely committed to it because you don't have any particular idea. Now, if you're saying, I want to learn to program because I want to build a PPU website to do all this stuff. Now you have an idea in your head, but the question is, okay, what exactly I need to learn in order to get this done? And this this addresses both of those needs. The needs of having the idea and being able to find out what knowledge you need in order to implement that idea.
All right, I think are we good?
The Office of Open Plans. We make cities work better. And actually we do work other than just cities, but a lot of what we do is use open source software and minimalism to primarily focus on urban livability, but a lot of what we're doing is improving opportunities for civic engagement and participation in civic life. And so a lot of the work that I do specifically is around spreading open source projects between cities and working on open standards for a lot of open data initiatives and trying to better leverage tools like True and One services as an avenue for civic engagement. And some of the projects that you might be aware of on the sort of journalism and media side, Streets Blog and Street Films are some great news resources about urban livability issues, particularly transportation, alternative transportation. Sort of the most mature open source software project we have is OpenGeo, which is the full open source geospatial suite. And one of the main projects we're focused on right now is Open Trip Planner, which is the world's largest open source transit project. And Gotham Schools is another media sort of journalism outlet we have, which covers public education in New York. And we've got a whole bunch of other projects. Check out openplans.org and you can learn more about us.
So let's do some project presentations, okay? 2 minutes each. Let's start with the general education group. Who's representing the general education group?
I am.
Martin, come
interested. So what we're talking about is basically kind of content makers and the more technical side of things. And we found issues in instructor freedom and just generally disaggregation. There are a lot of great ideas happening in different spaces and on different platforms. So how can we start really bringing all this together, and how can we start bringing educators into the idea of open and sharing and collaborating? And so one of the ideas that we had was just that we need to have an actual space and time to start aggregating all this information and bring it under one big roof, and getting the technical people to start building out the tools that they can build and making them the best thing that they can be. Getting the educators to all come and start sharing lessons, building out those lessons, and getting cross-pollination so that the lesson builders can start saying, hey, I would love this module to exist, and whatever coders can make that in whatever code makes the most sense, building that and then seeing what platforms can really emerge to be the best that they can be. So that's basically it.
Any other educating people?
Thanks, Mark.
Go ahead. So,
is there a Drumbeat project existing for this idea? You sound like you're already on the track to it. Are you serious about?
yeah, I put up a Drumbeat project that we've been building with MIT and IBM. That's specifically Drupal, and so it's sort of with that, but I think also a bigger umbrella, so anybody who can code in any space to build on, even if it's on top of Moodle or anything, but create an event that brings in all this under one umbrella.
What are you going to call it?
Right now the test name is Roebling, as a digital bridge, and because it's New York and the builder of the Brooklyn Bridge, but that's too abstract, so it has to happen.
Okay, P2PU. Who's representing P2PU? Your name, sir?
Hi, my name is Kinan. We were talking about if anybody works in any project of any sort, you would know that getting the required set of skills in your team is always hard. And in order to get that set of skills, you need people who have taken a set of courses for that specific project. So what we were talking about is a recommendation system that would take an organization's input on what they want to accommodate or accomplish in any given project, and then start recommending to the project manager a set of courses that people should have taken or should start taking if they want to have this project succeed. On the other hand, any organization can make the system after they finish a project so that they know that the person who took this set of courses have a better chance of getting things on time and on cost when the project is finished, so that people who, or organizations who start using the system later on would have an idea or can get an accurate, let's say, guess of what their project would look like afterwards. What else?
So does anybody else from the PPU group want to add something to that?
A situation where a user who has already taken specific courses, one of the things that we used was for the Garage Amp project. If you took a music theory course and a hardware design course or a hardware programming course, maybe there'll be a recommendation system similar to like how Amazon shows you books based upon the books that you bought, where it's like, hey, there's this project Garage Amp that is looking for people with those skills. Maybe you might want to check it out and contribute to it, etc., etc.
Yeah. Cool. And I would want to add one other thing that is like, when you finish your course at PPU, you want to continue learning. So this, the idea was to recommend something that would help you keep learning, but maybe not in an academic setting, but in a project setting. And we recommend projects that are cool, that you can go work on, get skills, and then keep track of what you did, so that it would go onto your portfolio. And that was the whole project, basically.
I have another question. One of the important things that educators are supposed to do is to make sure that you learn not only what you want to learn, but what you need to learn. How does peer-to-peer university do that or address that?
Hopefully it would be able to, but usually if you do not get what you need, you probably will get what you want. When you buy a car, you buy the car that you want, not the car that you need. Yeah, so that's hard to specify, but I think with if we build an algorithm that does things like Amazon does or better, we could do that.
Or you use a stronger peer, which has more knowledge than most other peers. They would recommend you.
Right, so it's a collaborative thing.
So time is up for this one.
Thank you very much.
project for this, drumbeat.org. It's on the front page, or p2pu.org.
We're going to skip the Drumbeat meta group and come back to it. Video group. Who's representing video group? Come on up. Your name, sir?
Matthew.
Matthew, the floor is yours.
Hi, Matthew. I am one of the project leaders for the Hive, which is a physical and virtual hub for individuals who want to be video producers. We identified a problem within the community, that is that there are some people who have the skill sets, editing video, editing sound, etc., and some people who don't have, some people who have those skills, but they don't have the equipment that they need, a good space to do it in, the right mic to do a live stream. And in addition to that, some of these people need help developing content and how best to present themselves on their video production. And so we decided that it would be really great to have a space for all of these people to come together, share their resources, and develop an exchange with their local community so that they are not lost in the world of video production. Just generally speaking, these individuals would come in to this virtual space, create a profile for themselves, identify their hard and soft skills within video production. So, for example, if you know how to use I can never remember. Final Cut. I don't use it, so I can't remember. If you know how to use Final Cut, or if you know how to produce a video and market it outwards, this is that you share that knowledge with the community, and then you come to the physical space and you treat it kind of like a community garden, where you can give and you can take, but you definitely have to give a little. We talked about insurance because that was an issue with high-priced equipment, so we created a funding strategy for creating a way of making sure that your stuff is protected.
So is there a Drumbeat project existing for this?
There is. No, I don't know. There should be, because it's
Anyone? One question? Quick question from anybody?
How do I get involved?
Email me.
Well, of course, is there an existing system or service you can use instead of?
Yeah, we talked about there's public broadcast stations and there's community service organizations that might have pieces of this type of resource. So they do exist, but they're all wide out. So this thing would bring them along to the same space.
What about Pixel 4? Pixel 4?
Pixel 4?
Yeah, the social media guy, Alex Lindsay, runs Pixel 4, which is a company that specializes in building their, the video and photo and so on professionals. It's commercial, you have to pay for it, it's free. Shoot, once a year.
Well, thank you very much.